Hello everyone, welcome to today's session. Let us start by giving you all a quick brief on what Octanet is. So, Tech Octanet is a budding startup headquartered in Bhubaneswar, specializing in IT solutions across diverse sectors including e-commerce, real estate, automation, and personalized business application. Our primary focus is to provide affordable services to startups, aiding them into their digital initiatives. In addition to our core services, we are expanding into the corporate training sector, aiming to equip future corporate employees with a solid foundation. We also address student needs by identifying academic project requirements, internship opportunities, and offering comprehensive solutions. We are proud to be incorporated as an organization with the Ministry of Corporate Affairs, registered with MSME, and approved by AICTE for internship programs. Also, our commitment to quality is underscored by ISO 9001 2015 certification, ensuring that every project we undertake reaches highest standards of excellence. Okay, thank you so much. That was all. Let us now stage our instructor and start today's session.
Good evening, everyone. Welcoming you all to this Java development workshop. And in order to introduce about myself, I am a Java developer. So, let me, wait for a couple of minutes until everyone joins, and then we'll begin today's session. And people, you can actually, tell your name and introduce yourself in the chat section so that we'll be able to, know about more about each other. Hi. So, okay, I could see many names. Until others join, you people can actually, put the place from where you are joining the session, and also, the degree or the stream which you are pursuing, or your year of study as well. And you have to drop the message on what and all programming languages you know, or do you have the knowledge of programming languages and all, because it will help me to narrow down my teaching process. For example, if everybody here is familiar with the basic concepts like what is a variable or what is a constant, um, because every other programming languages will also be having those concepts, right? So if you people know those concepts, I'll not reiterate on the things, so that's why I'm asking. Okay. Subiksha from Chennai. Okay. Yes, guys, you can actually drop, your year of study with the programming languages which you know, or you can actually introduce about yourself. BTech, okay, BTech. So Christy, some programming languages, right? You can specify them till everybody joins, and this is the first session, right? So I just want to know more about you people. So let me share my screen first. Intermediate in Java. Okay, cool. Is first assignment given to you? Like I'm not sure about the assignments and all. Just like I'll be discussing you the things which is like required to the syllabus or the class. That's it. Okay. Share my screen. Erode Namrata from Presidency University, Bangalore. Okay. I have learned some coding languages like okay, Python, C, and Java. Okay. EC, intermediate in Java. Okay. Completed my second year. No basics of Java. Okay. This is Ankur Verma. Okay. Intermediate in Java. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. So aeronautic BAUE means Hari Prasad. Is it? I am pursuing GCE Eero. May I know your stream because I mean like it's unclear. Okay, so so you people have a good idea on some programming languages, right? So like what I'll do is where and all it's very basics. I'll take it in a way like I'll be just providing you the gist because it is meaningless to explain you what is a variable constant and all. Okay, and I'll just show you the lesson plan initially what we are going to do. Automobile. Okay, cool. So what we are going to do in this 4 days, and then if you need any changes in the syllabus we can do that as well because it's completely for you. Okay, and this is not a general session where I mean I'll be speaking, you will be listening, or if it's getting bored you will walk out. No, this is not something like that. Like it is kind of discussion, like I'll learn from you and you will learn from me. Okay, so whenever you have doubts, then and there if it's silly also you can raise a question. And apart from Java, I'll also be covering some concepts or some algorithms in DSA, okay, which is quite important or which will be very easy for you to understand initially. Okay, yes. So this is what we are going to cover in this 4 days, where I have been instructed to cover from basics of Java to intermediate level. So where we'll be discussing the overview, key features, and how a Java program must be structured with the variables and data types which are available, and the operations which can be carried out. And the control structures, like we are having more looping statements, conditional statements, all those things. How to define a method, like for people who know other languages, people who know Python, there we used to call it as a function, whereas here we used to call it as a method. That's it. So method and function, they're going to resemble the same. Okay, the thing is here the name is method and there it is going to be called as function. So then we'll be seeing array, which is a linear data structure, and strings with the oops concepts, which is quite the very 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 important thing whenever you are learning Java. And Java is actually used because it has a like a strong oops concept which supports to handle more scenarios and more use cases. Okay, and next we'll be discussing on all those things. So yes, so here is the detailed overview, and people, if you need any other um, I mean topics to be covered, you can drop it in the chat. Also, like if time permits, I'll cover you with the collections in Java. We'll see just on what is collections and how to manipulate some things. Like in C you might have created a linked list with the help of struct by using structure. Like so here it's quite very easy, so I'll be introducing you to some kind of that hash map and all we used to have for finding the frequency of the elements. Okay, and yep, I mean like I just want to know how many people here know about what is DSA, or people who are preparing for interview. Like are you have you started preparing your DSA, or what's the status from your end? Okay, C++. Okay. Okay, guys. So, I mean, like, I just want to ask how many people know what is DSA right over here? Data structures and algorithms. I know, like, some people have studied it in your college syllabus itself, but like it is beyond getting marks. Like it is not only restricted to, in the college they are taking the syllabus you are learning. No. Okay, because whenever you're sitting for the interview, people are only going to shoot you with the questions on the DSA thing. And DSA is very very important. Even if you are in the second year or in the third year or even in the first year, you have to start DSA right away. Okay, so because you have to start your coding to, enhance your coding skills. You can use many platforms are there like Lead Code, CodeChef, HackerRank. More platforms are there. You can go there, you can explore more questions, and you can start solving the problems. And LeetCode is the best platform. Okay, so I'll also be introducing you some DSA sheets which I have used for my prep, and as well as, like people here. I don't know how many people know how an interview will be. Okay, like what and all the different rounds we used to have in an interview. Just give me a minute. Yes, so people. Okay. So people here, I don't know, like whether you have the knowledge of how an interview must be and will be, what and all the things you have to actually cover before getting into the interview hall, and how the different rounds will be framed in order to check your potential. Okay, so I'll also be telling you what and all different rounds whenever we take in college placements and all, like means a general view on how, what are the rounds the interview has, all those things. And I'll also be discussing you some resources which is related to the low level design. Okay, LLD, or it is also called as system design. Don't worry, like if you are very new, like, and if you're in the second year or something, and if you don't know all these things, chill, we are going to learn everything in this entire workshop. Okay. And when it comes to low level design, see, I mean, basically, like I use Java only for coding purpose. Okay, and the reason for covering the DSA algorithms during this workshop is learning just a language doesn't make any sense. So you have to apply it somewhere to solve problems or to do something. With Java, you can also create a project. You can use it for both front end as well as back end. Or I mean, like I generally use it for the competitive programming stuff. You can either do that as well. So that's why how I have planned this. Whenever I'm covering this Java, with the help of this, we are actually going to solve some problems. Okay, and when it comes to system design or LLD, you are actually going to apply the OOPS concept to solve those real world scenarios. So this is all about, yes. So this is all about the where to submit first assignment given to us. I'm not sure about that. You can ask your peers, guys. Actually, like I just want to know if you people are okay with the syllabus. Let's proceed with today's session. And today, it's not going to be, a coding thing and all, as it's a first session. I'll be covering you with the very basic concepts. Like I'll be telling you about Java, and the things which we have in Java features. And whenever you are writing a Java program and whenever you're compiling it, what and all the background process that is actually happening, and how you're getting the response from that end. So this is what we are going to discuss. So today it will be more like a theory thing, but from tomorrow it will be completely a hands-on coding stuff. And today if you're getting bored anyway, don't worry, I'm not going to judge you or give you marks and all on any basis. So you can just drop me a message so that we can see about the other resources like DSA, all those things, and then we'll come back again to our Java track. Okay. And is my pace okay? Like, am I going? I mean, am I speaking very fast, or is the speed okay for you all? Just respond so that we'll start with today's session. Guys, someone can respond like whether everything is fine, or is my pace okay, or is anything to be, like can we start? No response from your end. Okay. So in order to start with Java, these are all the important things. Not important, but it's just the basic things. So whenever you're going to learn language, you have to initially know how that language was, that language came up and who was the person, who was behind all those things and all. So actually Java was actually developed by the Sun Microsystems, and this person here, he is father of Java. Okay. So, and this is actually the Java symbol, which I think you people know, and here it is the major thing, which is the oops concept. Okay. Yes, OOPS concept. As I have already said, OOPS means like object oriented programming language. OOPS is a very, very important thing, and we'll discuss it in our session where I'll be dealing with what is inheritance, polymorphism, encapsulation, and abstraction. Okay, we'll be seeing clearly on how the things are. Depending on the OOPS concept only, you will be able to do your LLD or system design. LLD or system design. Okay. And the next thing here, it is nothing but it is the concept of multi-threading. Multi-threading. So when it comes to multi-threading, it is also an important concept in Java. If time permits, I'll cover it in a broader aspect. Multi-threading is how the processes are being, means the work is splitted, and how it is getting it is running parallelly. Okay, the concept of thread is being used here, and how the different processes are being compiled and carried out, in a parallel manner, that is called as multi-threading. And for this purpose, you'll be making use of thread. Okay, so a thread is actually a very lightweight single unit of a process, and I'll discuss about it more. And I mean, this person, his name is James Gosling, like who is the father of Java. Okay, so yes. Okay. uh yes, so when I want to talk about the oops concept. Actually, Java is called as a object-oriented programming language because whatever we write inside this will be in the form of classes and objects. Okay. For example, see, if I'm going to write a simple print statement in Python, we used to do like this, right? We'll just give something like print. Inside this, we'll give some content, right? But in Java, even if you want to write a single print statement, you want to enclose it only, inside a class. Either it can be main or anything. So inside a class, you will have a method like public static void main. Don't worry, we'll discuss about all these things. Public static void main, this is actually the main method, and your Java program can have only one main method. Okay, because only from your main method the execution actually begin, will start. Okay, so here inside this you will write system.out.println the content which is to be printed. Okay, so everything whatever you write in Java, it is actually enclosed in the form of classes and objects. We'll see what classes and objects are, don't worry. Okay, so class is nothing but, I mean, just to give a simple overview on these things, I'll tell you, like class is nothing but it is blueprint of an object. Okay, whereas object is nothing but it is some real world entity that has attributes and properties. For example, if I take an object like student, student is an object because student is a real world entity and they have some attributes. Attributes means, in the sense, the variables with which we can identify them. For example, if I'm taking a college student, he or she sure has a roll number. Of course, the roll number is dynamic. Not every student is going to have the same roll number, but every student will be having a field or an attribute called as roll number and name and age, date of birth, class, department, CGPA, everything, right? So that are actually called as the attributes. I'll mention only the few things, which is roll number or student ID. Next is name, and next is marks. So these are called as the attributes and the properties which a student will have. For example, the functional properties a student can code. So I mean, like you can have methods like this. So if he or she can code, if she is good at coding, and if she is not, if she knows coding, then inside this we'll be having some boolean checks, or we'll be just printing if she is a good coder or he or she is a good coder. So a student can code, a student can have some attendance, so um something like attendance, and he or she can dance, he or she can sing, he or she will have some skills to display. Okay, so those things, the functional properties are actually called as, that actually determines that object, right? So an object, if you want to uniquely identify an object, we'll be having attributes, and that object will have some properties. Either it can code, or it can walk, it can sing, it can run, he or she is a good athlete, anything. So that and all we'll be enclosing it in a method. Okay, the the reason for going with the oops concept is, for example, if I want to store some 50,000 records of students who's belonging to the same department, let's say CSC, of the same college, let's say, okay. Yes, so if I'm going to store the details of all the students who is belonging to the CSC department of the same college, instead of writing, I mean like instead of initializing it every time, what I can do is simply I can write a class, student class, where I'll be defining all my attributes and the properties, everything I'll be having inside this block, the attributes and the properties. And for this 50,000 students, it is fine to create this much number of objects. So whenever you want to use the attributes or the properties or the methods that is present in a class, you want to make use of the object. So for example, if there is a student class, and if I want to use any method inside the student class, or if I want to use any attribute that is present inside my student class, I'll create an object for my student class, and then with that object only I'll be able to display it, or I'll be able to call the method, or I'll be able to manipulate it, or I'll be able to assign the values to the attributes that is present inside my student class. So only with the help of the object you will be able to manipulate everything inside a class. So if you're writing a standard blueprint of your class, every student is going to have that properties and attributes, but the value will be different. So one time, whenever you want to store 50,000 students records, one time you can create an object, and you can actually assign those values, and you can easily do them instead of defining all those things. So this is actually the concept where the classes and objects are actually used. Don't worry, we'll see it in terms of implementing it in code wise also. In coding also we'll implement this. So in the further session, so just it's a small quiz to check whether people are active or not. See, like whenever a question is being shooted to you, like please don't refer any LLMs and all. Okay, just honestly, genuinely put the reply in the chat section. If it is wrong, also no issues. I'll correct it. Okay, and if you don't know, if you have not got anything, do let me know so that I'll reiterate on that concept so that you can have a good grasp on all these things. Okay. Yes. So why Java is an object-oriented programming language? Just now I have discussed. You can write it in your own words. I'll give you a couple of minutes. Life cycle of thread. Yes, instance of a class. Okay. Guys, I need you people to drop the answer in the chat. Why Java is an object-oriented programming language? It is an instance of a class and it's robust. It has class with methods and object. Okay. Oops, concept. Mm-hmm. That's the question because it will be in the form of yes. Good. Like only three people have responded. Shubham for inheritance concept. I mean, not only inheritance concept, we also have more concepts like polymorphism, abstraction, and encapsulation, which comes under OOPS concept. So actually, why it is called as a OOPS language means we can apply all these concepts, and also everything will be represented in the form of classes and objects only in Java. Okay. Okay. Inheritance. Okay. Java has its own JDK. Like I think is that the reason? It has class method object. Yes. Okay. Only I see Shubham, Hari, Namrata, Prabhav, Pranit. Only five of them have responded. What about others? See, I mean, like you can write it in your own words. Okay, no issues. I'm not going to judge you anyway. I just want to know whether you people, have understood what and all I have said. That's it. Yes, cool. Okay. So next thing what we are going to see is the most important thing. So whenever you are writing a code or whenever you are learning a programming language as a developer, it is not something like you are taking a problem statement, you're writing some code and you're getting the output. Yes, I mean, of course you want to get the desired output, but you have to know the workflow which is happening behind. You have to know what is happening behind the screens. Like you have to know whenever I write a code and whenever I hit that run button, what's happening exactly behind the scenes and how I'm getting the correct output, right? So JVM, JRE, and JDK are those components which will take the role, which is like taking the responsibility behind the scenes, and these three are actually important, and it only fetches you the output for the logic or the code whichever you are writing. Okay, so yes, so JVM here in this slide I have given in a very narrowed down sorry, in a broader aspect I have given. In the next slide we'll be seeing the entire architecture of JVM. Okay, and Java virtual machine is actually more important because it is the key component in your execution part. Okay, and we'll be discussing on these. So when it comes to Java virtual machine, as the name suggests, it is virtual, which means you can't see JVM at all. It will not be present in the form of a library or anything. So you can't see JVM. Okay, but it provides you the runtime environment where your Java bytecode can be executed. Okay, so just I want to give some points over here to you people. So whenever you are writing a Java file, it is stored with .java extension, right? So once you compile it, after compilation, after compilation, it is actually converted into a dot class file. This dot class file only will be sent to JVM, so that your entire execution will be happening. And here in this dot class file, the file content will be in bytecode, Java bytecode. So that's why it has been given that JVM is a runtime environment in which Java bytecode can be executed. So the Java file will be stored with the extension .java. Once it has been compiled, compilation is done to carry it out if your code has any syntax errors or is there any error in your program. If there is no any logical errors in your program, then it is compiled and a object file is created, means a dot class file is created So in that dot class file, actually the Java bytecode will be present, and that is actually sent to your JVM. From there only your execution will begin. Okay, and as I've already said, it doesn't exist physically, but it is the key component which helps you to evaluate everything. Okay, and this is actually the architecture of JVM. In the next slide we'll be discussing on like the JVM's architecture, but here I want to highlight few things. First thing, I mean, this is the first component. The class loader subsystem is the first component, where like the relevant libraries which and all you have used in your code, and if you have used any constants, global constants, all those initializations will be carried out in your first component, class loader subsystem. Next thing is, this is your second component, where your entire stack of memory will be stored. Like if you are writing a function, whenever you're making a function call, whenever you're executing a particular code, it doesn't mean that only in a linear fashion your code must be executed, right? So if you're having a program with 10 lines, it doesn't mean every time your code must only run from line number 1 to 10 in a sequential way or in a linear fashion. Or like if you have written any function, and if you have written any function calls, obviously the control will jump here and there. So that sequence of how the operations must be carried out will be stored in this area, and what and all variables you are using, those memory and all will be allocated here in the runtime memory area. Okay, and next thing, here only it is the third component, which is the most important component, where your entire execution will take place, and here interpreter is being used. Okay, and I'll ask a question when we are seeing the JVM's architecture. And JIT compiler is just-in-time compiler. We'll also be seeing what is the use of this compiler. Okay, yes. So next thing is JRE, which is Java Runtime Environment. Actually, see, whenever you are writing a Java file or a Java code, you might have used some libraries, right? You might have used some import, some java.sql.star, and you might have used some libraries, because with the help of Java you can do anything. You can also do WebSocket programming, or you can also connect with HTTPS, anything you can do. So for those, if you're going to connect your code with any external libraries, okay, your libraries must be loaded initially, right? So JRE helps you in providing those libraries. So whenever your execution actually starts, if the first line is being encountered by the JVM, so if any library is being used, first of all, that library must be imported in order to use the methods which is present inside that library, right? So that is what JRE is used for. It also provides you the runtime environment only, but here, it provides you a set of library files, which is required if you're going to use anything in your code. If you're going to use any methods which is present in that library must be imported before executing your code. So JRE helps you in providing those libraries with additional files which are required. So this is JVM along with some libraries set and other files is together, it is known as JRE. Okay, so this is all about JRE. Next, it is JDK. Uh, there are even some development toolkits which is available for you in order to use Java for building a very a big application or very good application. Even there are many MNCs which actually uses core Java for developing their all applications. For example, if you take Zoho, Zoho's primary language is Java only. So they use Java for building their products. And if you want to use Java for backend, there are many frameworks like Spring Boot and all, Java Spring Boot. So you can learn that, and you can also make use of it in your projects and all. Okay, so whenever you are going to make use of those concepts like Java Spring Boot and all, you have to use many tools, right? Development tools, the predefined tools which is available to you, where you can use them as such. So for that, this JDK will be providing you some development toolkits which will be helpful for you while developing your project. Okay, so yes, it is. It includes the JRE, huh, Java C debugger and development tools. See, here we have seen JVM initially. JVM plus the library set together it is known as JRE. JRE plus some set of development tools it is together it is known as JDK. Okay, and yes, so this is all about JDK, and next we'll see how a JVM works. JVM is quite important, so we'll see the entire architecture of how JVM works. Okay, yes. So there we have seen the three components, right? First thing is class loader component, and second thing is the memory area component, and the third thing is the execution area component. So here we'll learn about each component in a more detailed way. So before jumping into this, I just want to know whether you people have got the idea of what is JDK and what is JRE, or if you people have any doubts, you can post that in the chat. You have a question. Okay. Can you help me telling where will the dynamic memory allocates in JRE, JVM or JDK? Okay. In static method, metaspace stored what ma'am objects or class I have written. Uh, I mean, like you're asking about the dynamic memory allocations in GRE, JVM, and JDK, right? Actually, uh, only in JVM we used to have memory allocations. When it comes to JRE and JDK, they are actually the library set and the development toolkits which they are providing. Okay, and heap and stack. Sure, I'll tell you about the heap and stack memory. But I'm the second question. Can you be more clear? In static method, metaspace stored what objects or class? I mean, like, can you reframe the question, Shubham? Understood. Okay, what about others, guys? Have you people understood? And at 7 I'll provide you a small 5-minute break. Okay, so that you people can relax, and then we'll continue the session. A 5-minute break, and I'll be here only. People who have doubts also, you can ask in that time. Just give me a minute. Static method metaspace stored. It is something like you're asking about the static methods, right? Are you asking about the static methods or static classes or static variables or of everything? Because that metaspace, I'm not understand. I mean, it is not understandable what is meant by the metaspace. Just give me a minute. Yes, static method is stored in metaspace native. I'm a bit confused about what will it store, object or classes. Even I'm unsure about that. Don't worry, we'll see. Okay, because I mean, is this any statement from where you have took from any websites or from any concept? You can specify that. Okay, we'll discuss. I mean, I'll clear all your questions. Some questions like I'm clear. Yeah, heap and stack. That's fine for me. Dynamic memory allocation is obviously present in JVM. In JRE and JDK, I don't think we have. But like, don't worry. If I don't know, I'll not tell any incorrect data and all. Now it's in front of you. I'll just put. We'll search and we'll learn things. Okay. Yes. So yep. So as I've already said, whenever you're creating a file with .java, after compilation, it is actually converted to its equivalent .class file, which has the Java bytecodes present in that. So that Java bytecode is actually given to your JVM. And the first component is nothing but your class loaded subsystem, where three things will be done, which is loading, linking, and initialization. Okay, the main the main role for this class loader subsystem is nothing but it will actually verify whether your code has all the syntaxes properly maintained, and it actually prepares your entire bytecode to be getting ready for all the further executions. Okay, and the initialization of the global constants will be happening over here. Global value means the static variables. Static variables, for example, if you take static variables, static is actually a keyword. Keyword means whenever we are taking a programming language, some words are actually predefined and that will be having some reserved meaning, and that is called as keyword. Static is actually a keyword where you can three things are there: static method, static class, and static variable. Okay, so whenever you're giving some variable like static int a is equal to 5. So if you are giving something, this initialization of the variable a will be happening only one time, and that is also when your program is being executed for the very first time. Only during your execution, that allocation, that initialization for the variable a will be carried out, and it will be stored in the memory. So after which you cannot modify this value. So that is actually called as a constant variable. The value of a will be constant throughout your entire program, so that are known as the static variables. Okay, and only one time the the allocation of the values will be happening for the static variables. That is also when your class is executed or loaded initially. Okay, so those initialization steps and all will be taking place in the class loader subsystem. And when it comes to runtime data area, we are having method area, where every information about your class will be getting stored. What's your class name? What and all the methods which it has? What and all the like variables which it has? Instance variables which it has. Everything will be stored in the method area. And next thing, the heap area or the heap memory is like the variables which you are going to use. For all those things, the memory allocations will be carried out. Don't worry, we'll also be seeing about the memory space which is required, the memory size which is required for different data types in Java. Okay, so according to the data type of the variable, the memory allocations will be happening, and that particular variable with its corresponding value will be stored in the heap memory or heap area. Okay, so next thing, the stack area, like it is nothing but stack is actually a data structure, if you people know already. And we know like stack actually follows the concept of first in, first out. So sorry, first in, last out. Okay, stack will be in this type. So every time when you want to insert an element, here stack has only a couple of operation, which is push and next thing is pop. So push is actually nothing but is inserting values, pop is removing a value. Okay, and you'll be having top. Top is the, sorry, top is the first element that is present. This is actually the top. You can also manipulate your top value. Okay. Yes, so your first element will be at the bottom. So it will be whenever you're popping out all the elements of the stack, it will be coming out at last. So it will follow the concept of first and last out, or last and first out. Okay. Yes. So for example, let's take a code where we'll have something like this. Okay, so we'll have a code something like this: 5, 6, 7. Okay, so I'm going to write class Otherwise, I'll go with some online compilers. Okay. Both final and static keyword will have same property or they are different. Static and final, they are different. Final is a keyword which acts as a fixed thing. Static is, like they both are different. And see, that too, final keyword is actually used whenever you're using the concept of interface. So whenever you're writing final for any method, first and all, it was given like the value cannot be modified and all, but you can also modify the value that is present in an final method, or you can also redefine things when it comes to final. Okay. Yes. Guys, and for running your Java code, like you can go with either online compilers, or it will be fine if you are using any uh, IntelliJ or Eclipse compiler. Okay, because I have those things with me. Yes, so let's say I'm going to write a method right over here. Public. Don't worry if you're not getting anything, just I'm telling how the workflow of the program will be in this particular case. Okay, so public static int like square. I'm going to pass an integer number and I'm going to return something like um, num star. No. Okay. Yes. So let me give some n value 5, and I'm going to call this method int result is equal to square of n system dot out dot println result. Then I'll give some another set of functionalities. Like what can I give? Okay, I'll just give something like this. um Hello. Okay, and I'm again going to print hello all, and next again I'm going to call the same thing. Okay, so let's say I have written a program like this, and see the line number is from 1 to 14. It doesn't mean that every my workflow how like um, the program will be executed. It is not something like from 1 it will go to 2, from 2 it will go to 3. No, it's not linear, right? So first it will come to my first line, where it will be encountering that it is a public class. And one more thing, whenever you are defining your class as public class main, your class name and your file name must be same. If you are not putting public keyword, then if you're just writing it as class main, then you can rename the file in your way. But if you are writing a class as public class, your file name must match with the class name. Okay, is it will come to my first line and my second line, and then it will come to my third line, and it will encounter that it is going to be a main method, and from here only my execution will begin. So it comes to 4. Yes, so here it is a assigning operation which is happening over here, and it comes to my fifth line. In the fifth line, actually, I have called a method. Here I have done a method calling, or I have called a function. Function calling has been done, right? So now my control, after coming to line number 5, it will go to this method where I have defined it. So it will go to my 11th line, because here only I have defined my square function, right? And again it will come to my 12th line, 13th line. Yes, so when this return statement is actually encountered, it will go back again to this fifth line, and the result variable will be updated with 25, because 5 into 5 is 25, right? So result variable will be uh, you know like um, I can assigned with 25, and it comes here, it comes 6, it will print, and it comes again to my seventh line. It is actually a normal initializing statement, okay. And it eighth is also a print statement, ninth is also a print statement. That's it. So when it comes out, is everything is being done, so it comes to my 10th line, and yes, everything comes out from my entire class. So this is how my workflow will be there. So this workflow is there, right? This must be stored in some place, right? Because after my first line, it must go to second line for execution. After my second line, it must go to third. Then it must go to fourth. Then it must go to fifth line. After my fifth line of execution, it must go to the seventh line because a function call is being done. So this must be stored in a data structure so that the sequence in which the operations or the sequence in which the execution must happen is predefined, and there will be no error which is happening, right? So this workflow is actually stored in this stack area. Yes, stack area, and it is stored as a single thread. Thread is actually, as I've already said, it is actually a very subunit of a process. So it will be stored in different threads. So according to the sequence, the threads will be getting executed. Okay. Yes. And PC registers are the addresses of the threads which is actually going to store, and native method stack will be the supporting library for that. That's it. And when this entire, the sequence has been formed, and the information regarding your methods has been stored, and all your methods are being stored, it comes to your execution engine. Okay. And in your execution engine, you're having a very important thing called as interpreter. May I know, like, if you people here know what is the key difference between a compiler and an interpreter? Yes. Main difference between a compiler and an interpreter. If you people know, you can drop the answer in the chat. What is the difference between a compiler and an interpreter? It's so easy. Guys, I know it's too theoretical, like I can even understand that. Okay, but today only it will be, don't worry. And after JVM now, I'll go and I'll introduce you about DSA and all those things, so that you will be good. uh that's a good question. We can interchange the void and main. No, like, you can't interchange. I'll tell you why and how. And because whenever we are writing a particular method, there is a convention that is to be followed. I'll tell you, don't worry. Okay, we'll see that. Vijaya. Okay. Yes, good, Shubham. Compiler executes the code at once, whereas interpreter, it will compile line by line or executes line by line. Yes. Source code to machine code and vice versa. Haha, but the key thing which I expected was, like, um, compiler will execute everything at once, whereas interpreter will be executing line by line. And for example, you are writing 1,000 lines of code, or let's say some 100 lines of code, and if you're going to use compiler for executing things, only after that 100 lines of code is being executed, if any error is present in line number 3, only after executing that 100 lines you'll be prompted with the error at line number 3. Whereas whenever going to use interpreter, the first line will be getting executed. If there is no error, it comes to second line. If it is error free, it comes to third line. And if an error is being encountered, then and there it will halt, and it will come, and it will be prompting with a message stating that an error is being encountered at line number 3. That is the absolute difference between an interpreter and a compiler. And yes, good, Shubham and Ankur, like, good, you people are very active. Yes, so for that purpose, we are using interpreter over here. Java uses interpreter. And this JIT, JIT is just-in-time compiler. This is actually a temporary one, but I'll tell you what is the main use of the JIT compiler or the just-in-time compiler. Okay. See, in this compiler will check full code. Yes, good, Jaya. Yes, so yes. So here, in this code, I have used the function. I have called the function square for only a single time. Only at my line number one, I have called my function square, right? Let's say I'm going to int result one. Sorry, result one is equal to square of n, or int n1 is equal to 3 square of n1, then n2 is equal to 4, something like this. Okay, it's a very small example, but yes. So here in my code I have called the same square method for like I have called it thrice. I have called it for 3 times, right? So let's take a real world scenario where I'm going to write a particular method which has some functionality, and let's say I'm going to write 1,000 lines of code, and I'm going to call that method for more than 10 times in that code. Okay, and when I'm trying to execute my 1,000 lines of Java code, uh, see, if a same function is to be called n number of times, or here in my case the function is same, the method is same, it's square method, but it is called for 3 times. So when it is being encountered, when the function call here at line number 5 is being encountered, I want to do an interpret this square method. And again, when the control is coming over line number 11, again the square method has to come and be interpreted. And when again it is being called in 13 again. So instead of interpreting it thrice, what I can do is, for the very first time, whenever I have encountered a new function, I'll be checking it in my just-in-time compiler, whether that function has been previously compiled or interpreted or not, executed or not. If that has not been executed, and if this is the first time I'm encountering a new function, it is executed and it is stored in the just-in-time compiler. So when my control comes at line number 11, and when it encounters a method, it will actually initially goes and checks in my just-in-time compiler whether that method has been executed somewhere before that or not. If it has been previously executed, it might have stored in just in the JIT compiler. So it will not come to your original code, and it will not compile that time. It will actually use the executed code from your JIT, just in time compiler. So again, so as I already said in my use case where I have 1,000 lines of code, and 10 times if I'm going to call a same function, instead of executing the function for 10 times, whenever the function is encountered for the very first time, it is executed and it is stored in the JIT compiler. So for the second time, third time, fourth time, fifth time, whenever I'm going to call that particular method, or whenever I'm going to execute that particular method, I'll be checking in my JIT compiler whether it has been executed already or not. If it has not been, then only I'll come and execute, or else I'll be using it directly from a JIT compiler, and that is the main use of JIT compiler. In other words, this JIT compiler, it will be acting as a in-memory database, something like that. It is not an in-memory database and all, but it will be something like that. It is a temporary one, but it actually saves more memory and time, and it will also help you in increasing your performance, because when the function is same, compiling it, I mean, like executing it every time doesn't make any sense, right? So yes, this is all about JIT compiler. And when it comes to garbage collector, I think you people know the scope of a variable, right? Or lifetime of a variable. So whenever a variable, is being executed inside a block, and when the control comes out of that block, the variable becomes, or the lifetime of the variable will be over. The scope will be over. For example, let's take, here I have defined my int n, right? And here I have defined my variables n1 and n2. So I can't come and access my n variable in another method. I can't come and access, right? Oh, sorry, it's not result. N1. I can't come and access over here because the scope of this variable n or the lifetime of this variable is over when the control comes off out of this main method. Okay, and I haven't defined any n1 variable inside this square block, so that's why I'll be not able to use that. So whenever a lifetime of a variable is over, it must be the memory space which has been allocated for that particular variable must should be freed up, right? So that is actually automatically it is done by Java itself. So garbage collector is used for that purpose. For the purpose, like if your variable's lifetime is over or if it comes out of the block, like the memory space is freed up, its corresponding memory space is freed up. And for people who knows C or C++ over here, you would have used the free pointer. Whenever a variable's lifetime is over in C or C++, you'll use the keyword free, so that you are freeing up the memory space. But here in Java, it is done automatically by Java itself, by JVM itself. So this is all about JVM. This native interface and the libraries are the supporting things for handling out this entire thing. So this is all about JVM. So yes, do you people have any questions on JVM? These questions, I think heap and stack memory I have explained you, right? Dynamic memory allocation J in I mean in JVM I said how the dynamic memory allocation will be. Uh, do we have dynamic memory allocation in JRE and JDK? Oh, okay. Yes, this is the thing which is happening in the stack. I mean, like normal heap memory and all. But JRE is okay, uses heap space for dynamic memory allocation for Java objects. Okay, I'll see about how the dynamic memory allocations will be in JRE and JVM, and I'll let you know tomorrow before the session. We'll discuss about that, Shubham. Okay, the questions on which I have to see is dynamic memory allocations in JRE and JDK. Then this something like mm, static method you asked it. Oh, static method. Static method is stored in question metaspace native. Haha, metaspace region. Metaspace means okay. The other word for method area is metaspace, it seems. So that's what I said now. All your variables which are having all your variables which is related to your class, the methods, and all the information regarding your class will be stored in the method area. And another name of method area is metaspace, it seems. Metaspace region. Okay. And I think I have cleared you what is stack and heap. Shubham, it's fine, right? Tomorrow, I mean, I'll this I haven't cleared. Like I'll tell you about this tomorrow. Another name of method area is metaspace. Thank you for that doubt because I also learned. I don't know other name of method area is Metaspace. Okay. Yes. So, no issues. Like, you're welcome. Guys, if you people have any doubts, you can let me know in the chat. We'll take a small 5 minute break, and afterwards I'll discuss you about a bit about DSA, and again we'll dive into Java, and we'll see about the data types and variables. Okay, so take a break, a 5 minute break, and before that, have you people understood? Shubham, that's fine. Apart from Shubham, like, have you people understood what and all we have discussed until now? Others, please do respond, and you can have a 5 minute break, a small break. Okay, so yes, so you people, okay, good. Okay, guys, so at 7:12 we'll begin the session. Okay, have a 5 minute break, relax yourself, and come. We'll discuss about DSA. Okay, yes. And people who have doubts, you can post your questions here. I'll also respond to that. Yes, so I think everybody has joined again, right? Rejoined. Okay, we'll begin our discussion. So, guys, before that, I just want to know how many people have started, like preparing for your interview, or how many people have, have started on DSA. I have started DSA. Okay, and Shubham, you are from which year? What about others, guys? Do you know, like, we have something like DSA, and that is quite important. And how have people started working on the DSA questions? And do you know, I mean, are you aware of the coding platforms like Lead Code and all, and different algorithms which we have? So, good. Ankur and Varma, like, you people are from which year of study? Are you from second year or third year? Or, I mean, we can specify that because just I've just studied some concepts of DSA. Good. Okay. First year passed. Great. Is my screen visible? Completed second year. Okay. I'll reshare my screen. I think it was not visible, right? Is my screen? Now it's visible. Now it's visible, right? Yes. So, the sheet which I used to follow. Do you people follow any DSA sheets or any channels? Because during my interview prep, I used to follow. Sorry, Striver's DSA sheet. See, it's not a kind of promotion or anything. Okay, like, uh, there are many sheets, DSA sheets, which is available in the market. But when I was preparing for my interview, I have used this. That's why I'm telling you this is good. This is not any promotion and all. Okay, there are many sheets. Love Barber sheet and all we used to have, right? So yes, so here you can follow the A to Z sheet where a topic will be given, and the questions which is related to that topics will be given in a very good way, and you will be having the articles and the corresponding problem links where you can go and you can start solving the problem. And see, DSA is very very important because, like, whenever you are going for interview stuffs and all, there are I mean, first round of coding round you have to clear in order to get into the technical discussions or the technical interviews. I mean, the face to face one. Okay, so like, in short coding round, the questions will cover until recursion and trees concept. Okay, and like, some companies will also cover in short coding itself, or they'll be having only one coding round or something like that. So they'll be covering until dynamic programming and all. Okay, and greedy and all. But if you're going for any mang based companies, of course, until graph it's important. But for other companies, like, if you are clear under dynamic programming, greedy, and trees recursion and all, I think that's fine. Okay, so yep. And in the long programming round, people are going to ask questions on LLD, low level design, where, like, I'll be showing you some question, okay, on that. So you can follow this sheet, and if you want to follow in YouTube, his channel name is Take You Forward. Yes, so this is his channel name. You can go and follow the channel, and you can start learning DSA. And of course, there are more DSA sheets which is available. So if you people come across any good ones, you can also let me know. This is good. I have experienced this. And when it comes to system design or low level design, I'll be telling you the questions. Zoho round 3 question. In GFG, where and all questions you have Zoho tag, you can start solving problems on. Though I mean, you can start solving those problems because most of the questions from will be from that only. Huh. Round one will be written round. I mean, aptitude round, where you'll be given with 10 aptitude questions and 10 I mean, this aptitude and programming questions. Okay, and no MCQs and all. Everything will be in Phillips way only. And round two will be simple coding, where you'll be allotted with 3 hours, and you are supposed to provide the optimizations and all. And round three is complex coding, where this is actually termed as LLD, low level design. So the question will be following this pattern. Something like design a call taxi booking application. They'll be giving you some constraints. Okay, people, I think you are there with me. It's visible right now doing 160 days of GFG. Good. Okay. Striver lead code. Huh. Good. Hacker rank first year. Okay. So you people have started so early. So it's good actually. You can start from now itself so that be more consistent when it comes to DSA because there are many demotivating points when you walk into this. Okay. So please don't get deviated or demotivated. Be more consistent. You will get all those things. Okay. Yes. So this is how the question on LLD will be. They'll be giving on this is the real world scenario, right? So call taxi booking application, so for which there are rent taxis there, they'll be providing you the constraints and what and all the solution they need. Okay. Yes, so this is the input and output in which they want. So this you have to implement with the concepts of objects and classes, which means you have to use the concepts of inheritance, polymorphism, abstraction, encapsulation. In order to use all these concepts, you have to first know what these concepts are and in which scenarios these concepts are used. For example, if you're gonna use inheritance, then you want to know where this inheritance concepts can be used, and in that features you are supposed to use that particular inheritance concept. Okay, so don't worry, in this workshop we'll be discussing all those four key components in Java. I mean like the oops, and you'll be getting a clear idea on that. So once start building some small applications with the oops concept in Java or any language you can use. But when it comes to on-campus placements, it is good to go with C++ or Java. Coding in C is a structured language, so you can't use that for CP, competitive programming. But you can use Java or C++, and please don't go with Python because unless and until the role is strictly adhered to Python, because the oops concept in Python is quite very easy, very simply you can implement that. Okay, so be clear with the classes and objects and the oops concept and start building some mini applications like this. Okay, and in order to enhance your performance or in order to make you stand out across all the crowd in your interview, I mean, you people can go through this system design. It is refactoring guru. This website is good. Design patterns. Yes, so there is a concept called design patterns. Okay, where we'll be having three types of design patterns like creational, structural, behavioral. Okay, so you can, this is a very good website where it will be given in a pictorial representation. It will not be boring, as well as you people will be grasping all the concepts. So there are many methods like factory, builder, singleton, prototype, abstract factory, and all. So what you do is initially, once you are very familiar with the oops concept, start building the applications without using any design patterns. Okay, and after, once you become somewhat confident in that, come to this website, learn all the design patterns where and all the things can be used. So singleton is actually a method which can be used in certain scenarios. So if you want to implement that scenario in your application, you can actually make use of the singleton method. Okay, so study all the design patterns. Only some patterns will be there, I mean it will be less only. Okay, so study these design patterns, and whenever you are clearing your short coding round, and whenever you're stepping into your long programming round, and if you are using these design patterns, and if you are when explaining things, if you are explaining with this also, like for example, for this particular feature I have made use of singleton, because singleton actually works in so and so way. And in order to replicate the same, and in order to maintain some for security reasons, like I have used the singleton design pattern in implementing this feature. So if you're explaining your work, what you have done in that 3 hours in this way, obviously you'll stand out in the crowd, because I don't think people will know design patterns and all. Okay, so this is the way how you can enhance yourself, because interview means you have to be unique other than others. Okay, and yep, I think you people know how to write resume and all. Okay, so this is all about some things which I want to discuss about this DSA and LLD. People, are you fine with this? These are some of the resources which I want to share. Are you okay with this? I mean, the resources. And yes, actually, like I'm also solving. And people, do you have a habit of solving the lead code contest? We'll be having a bi-weekly contest on Saturdays, and when it comes to Sunday, we'll be having it every Sunday. Okay, so because yes, so because like I need some like-minded people, so that as a in a collaborative way we can also solve this CP questions. It will be a kind of vibe environment where we can solve those things, right? So I need some people, or I mean whoever is interested, you can join with me. It is not I'm not going to have any paid sessions and all. It is completely free. Like I want to we all can code together. Code together means we'll be having that vibe, all those things. And like I'm also having much things to learn. So yep. Okay, so now I think you people have been again recharged. Now we'll see how a Java code looks. So what is the basic structure of a Java program? Okay, and guys, before coming, how we'll join, like I'm having, I mean like a WhatsApp group I have. I'll share you the link, Shubham. Like I'll show the QR. If possible, I'll show it today. I haven't prepared any QR and all. If not, I'll tomorrow I'll tell you. And you can also text me. I mean, this is my mail. Array. Yes, so this is my mail ID. You can also text me. Okay, so that if anybody is having any doubts, you can text me in this mail ID, so that I'll clear you the doubts even after this workshop ends. Okay, because I just want to help people, like who actually wants to learn something. So yes, anybody who is having any doubt, or anybody who wants to join with me in coding, like you people can actually contact me in this mail ID, so that we'll connect, and we'll create a vibrant environment. Okay, yes, cool. Okay, so again, jumping into Java, like this is actually how a Java structure must look. This is the answer to the question Jaya asked. Um, this is the answer to the question which Jaya asked. Like, can we swap the keywords void and main whenever we are defining a main method? You asked, right? Whether can we swap the void and the main methods? We cannot, because now I'll introduce you to the concept of whenever you're writing a method, what and all the convention which you want to follow. Okay, so yes, so as I've already said, if you're using Python program means you'll be giving a simple content within a print statement where you'll be getting the output. But as I've already said, when it comes to Java, even if you want to write a simple print statement, you want to enclose it only in class and main method. Okay, yes, So here you will be defining the package. Package is nothing but a group of classes or a collection of classes. It is actually termed as a package. Okay, let me show you the some demo. I have Eclipse. I have created some projects, okay, where I'll be able to show you what is a package and all, and I'll also be showing you what is that JDK and JRE. I said we'll be able to see it physically, whereas JVM, it is actually a virtual machine where we can't see it physically as a library or something, as a directory and all, but it is actually the key component which helps you to execute your Java code. I'm using Eclipse, so I think people, you can either go with Eclipse or IntelliJ. Anything is fine. Mm, yes. So here I have my JRE system library. I think yes. So these are all the different library set which is present inside my JRE. Okay, and inside my JDK, I have something like the C. I have JDK dot compiler, JDK dot editpad. These are all the different development toolkits which is provided by Java itself. Okay, so whenever you are downloading IntelliJ or Eclipse, you'll also be able to witness all these things. Whereas you won't be able to see any JVM because it can't be seen physically. Okay, I mean, yes. Next thing, what happened? Huh. Yes, so this is actually a package, okay, and the way the naming convention for package and all, it's fine. If you're not following also, okay. So yes, so inside this, I'm having a collection of classes, and if I take every class, here is my main.java file. The first written will be the package name. So the package inside which the class is actually present. So all my respective Java files which is coming under the package com.kirtna.reservation.tickets will be having the same package name initially. So that is going to be my first line. Uh, yes, so that is going to be my first line. Next thing, I have already said you, if you want to give something as public class simple hello, then your file name must also be simple hello.java. Java is case sensitive, so you can't even name your file something like that if you are giving a public, sorry, you're giving public class. You are supposed to follow the correct name whatever you're giving. H must be capital letter, it can't be in lowercase. Okay, so if you're not specifying a public keyword, then you can have your file name as any file name, like you can have practice.java, and also you can have your main method inside your simple hello class. That's not an issue. Okay, and yes, so next is actually the main method. So generally what people will think is like whatever we write inside public static void main, it's actually means Java, right? There is a meaning for why you are giving public static void main so and so. Okay, so this main is actually a method. Okay, and I'll be telling you the different meaning of this statement. I mean, like why these words are being used. And your Java file can have only a single main method because your execution will begin only from the main method. Okay, and as I've already said, whenever you want to execute your Java file, it is done only with the help of JVM. So whenever the class file is sent to your JVM, The execution starts only from the main method. Okay. Yes. So first thing is public. Public is actually the access modifiers. We are having four different types of access modifiers in Java, which is public, protected, private, and default. So if you are not going to specify anything, it is default. If you are going to have private, then it is actually given for highly sensitive fields. You can apply this access modifier to a class or a method or a variable. For anything you can apply. Access modifiers is actually restricting or the access of a particular component or a module. For example, I'm going to have a login functionality or a login method where the user's credentials, either the bank account details or their passwords, must be kept in a very secure environment, right? So for those variables which has to be given more security, or for those methods which is highly sensitive, I'll be making use of the private keyword. Because private means I'll be able to access that method only inside my class. Apart from that, I won't be able to access the method or that variable and all. So whenever you want to define some method or a variable with high sensitivity, you can go with private. Okay, so public means it is accessible anywhere. Okay, and the reason for giving your main method as public is, I have already said you right. The JVM will start its execution only from the main method. So once your object file is sent, once your file with the dot class extension is being sent to JVM, it actually checks for the main method. It actually checks your main method. Okay. So at that time, if you are giving private here, the main method will not be, JVM cannot access your main method. If you are giving protected, then also there are some restrictions. If you are giving default, then also there are some restrictions. So you don't know, JVM is actually a very external thing and it is going to access your main method. So obviously your main method must be a public one. Then only the JVM will be able to access that. So that's why we are giving public over here. And the reason for creating the static is, as I've already said you, static is actually a keyword. Whenever you are initializing it with variables, then only one time the assigning operation will be carried out. And that is also only when your class is getting loaded or executed for the very first time. And if you want to use the static keyword in terms of classes, I have already said you, if you want to manipulate the attributes or the properties which is present inside a class, you are supposed to create an object, and with the help of the object only, you will be able to use the methods or the attributes, or you'll be able to assign some values, right? But if you're giving a static class, then it is not it is unnecessary to create an object. Directly you can call the method, directly you can access the variables without even creating an object. I'll show you a demo. Like usually static and abstract will be abstract data type will be going in sync every time. Yes, so void, whenever you are defining a method, this is the convention which you want to follow. The access modifier first, then static. It is optional only. Either you can give static or no. Without mentioning that also you can provide that. Void. This is actually the return type of the method. For example, in this case, I would have given public static int. Int is the data type which my method is going to return. So here I'm returning, not this. So here I'm going to return num star num, where it is actually an integer. Okay. So here I'll be specifying what will be the return type of that particular method. So if my return type is integer, for sure my method must return an integer. Okay. And here it is given as void because that main method is not going to return anything. Okay. But here it is given as int because that method is going to return some integer value. Okay. And this main is actually the method name. Here main is the method name. Here square is the method name. Okay, so this void and square, sorry, this void and main, it can't be swapped, because void, I mean, like, first you have to provide the return type of the data type which your method is going to return, after which only you will be specifying your method name. Okay, and here next thing, inside this it is called as parameters. Okay, here you are giving string, uh, I mean array, which in which we'll be able to store the elements in terms of string. Okay, it is a string array basically. So this string array of arguments, it is actually used whenever you are going with command line arguments. For example, if I want to, like, give my inputs during runtime, and if I want to give the arguments in my command line, means all those input will be considered as a string, and initially it will be stored in this arguments array, after which it will be, getting manipulated, it will be getting computed, it will be getting used according to the logics which I am enclosing it in my main method. Okay, and yeah, this is a simple println statement, obviously, and everything here must be followed. Your class name is optional, I mean, it's according to you. Package name is optional. Main, this you have to follow, but when it comes to defining other methods, it's your way of like naming your method. Here string array, like arguments, this is actually the name of this array. So instead of string arrays, you can also give as, instead of arguments, it is not a fixed naming. You can give something like this also, like I can give something like string. Okay, the string array, I can give any name. Instead of args, I can also give my name. It will work. Okay, so these are all the 5 things which you want to keep in mind before defining a method. I'll show you a simple example. And I think you people know this in Java. For a single line comment, we'll be using double forward slash. And if it is a multi line comment, you'll be giving slash, asterisk, and I mean star, then a forward slash. Okay, so let me rename it as, okay, I'm going to write a simple println statement. Array. Incoming. Yes, it's actually getting worked. So this arguments, it's not fixed, you can give your own name. Okay, and let's see this also. Here I have given public class main, right? I am changing it to sample, but here I have given main.java only. I'm prompted with an error stating that class sample is public, so should be declared inside a file name sample.java. If I'm not giving this public keyword, how? Okay, here it is raising an like error, as it is my online compiler, but in Eclipse and all it won't be raising the error. Okay, so just to show you the difference only, I have given this. So yes, people, like, are you clear until this? And I think Jaya's doubt got clear. We can't you can use VS code as well. You can use VS code also, no issues. If you want to externally use something, like, what to say, some Java IDEs, you can go with Eclipse, or you can go with IntelliJ. It will also helps you to create your own projects and all, but VS Code is also fine. So guys, are you clear until this? Okay. Others? Okay. So yes. So next, it's data types and variables. Ha. So just I'll give a small introduction on the data types, and then we'll wind up today's session. I don't want to bore you up with a whole lot of theory concepts. Okay. And before that, guys, do you know about the binary representation of numbers? How, like, a binary number is represented and how the conversion can be done, means how a decimal number can be converted into its corresponding binary format, and how a sure, I'll share. Binary means 0 and 1, but I'm asking, for example, how do you represent a normal decimal number with base value 10? Decimal number means normal number, whatever we write, it is called as decimal number in terms of computations, because it has a base value 10, right? So, okay, good. Because tomorrow, when we are seeing, and if you people have opted for CSE in your higher secondary, you might have also studied the binary representation. For people who don't know, if people you don't know, like, do let me know in the chat, so that I'll start that also tomorrow. Because tomorrow we are going to see the bitwise operations, right? So in order to get more knowledge and idea on how the bitwise operations work and how the shift operations and all work, you have to know the concept of binary representation of numbers, because those operations are actually carried out in the bitwise level. And bit manipulation is a very, 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 like, important concept, because sometimes the questions can also be framed in terms of the bit manipulation. We are having a float and double for large value. Sorry. No, no, like, binary representation means how to convert a number with base value 10 into a number with base value 2. How many data types in one method? Only one data type you can return in one method. Either, if you're not going to return anything, you want to specify it as void. If you're going to return integer, you will be specifying int. Only one data type you will be able to return when it comes to a single method. Okay, so yep, good. You people are asking questions. Done. Yes, so I'll be giving you a quick overview on the data types, and then we'll wind it up. And tomorrow, I want you people, who and all know already, that's fine, but everybody must go through this and come. Binary binary representation of numbers. So if I'm having a number like 5, this is normal number which we write in max world. In computer world, it is called as a decimal number with base value 10. So you must know how to convert it into a binary number with base value 2. You'll have zeros and ones format. And if a binary number is given to you, you must know how to convert it into its equivalent number with decimal value 10. Okay, fine, guys. No, it's not possible, Hari. Only will be. It is possible only to give only one return type in a single method. It's not possible. Okay, so in Java, a single method can have only one return type. This return type is defined in the method signature. Signature means the first line only. So it can be any primitive data type or any other non-primitive data type, like the user-defined ones, like string, array list, or anything. Now is it fine, Hari? You're convinced now? Float and double, I'm not sure about that, Shubham. Like, whether it's a certificate workshop or it's a training session, you have to contact Octonet. I am not sure about that. Yes. So, what difference between float and double? Let me tell you. Don't worry. Whenever we are discussing about this, we'll tell. Yeah. So, guys, like this is your homework for today. You have to go through, revise, learn the binary representation of numbers. So, you must be in a state to convert a decimal number to its corresponding binary and binary to its corresponding decimal. Okay. So, we are having another 10 minutes. So, yep. Data types means the I mean, like the type of data which you want to store in your variables. So you have to define it earlier itself, whether you are going to store any integer data or are you going to store any string data, something like that. Okay. So here, when we take in Java, we will be having two broader categories. One is primitive and another one is non-primitive. Okay. So in primitive, we are having two different categories. Numeric means it deals only with the numbers or digits. Wherein though you're having numbers and digits, it's numeric. And the data types which we have for integer types, we are having four different variations in this, which is byte, short, int, and long. For storing integer values only, we are having these four data types. I'll be telling you why we are having these four variations. Okay. And when it comes to floating point means it is the number which is having a decimal point. So we are having float and double. We can use both float and double for storing floating point numbers. The key difference is, if you are using float, it allows you with seven digits. It gives you a precision of 7 digits after the decimal point. And if it's double, it will allow you to store array it will allow you to store, consider this as some decimal point. Yes, it will allow you to store until 15 digits. So it will give you a precision of storing 15 digits after the decimal point. Okay. This is the key difference between a float and a double value. Okay. So yes, so when it is a non-numeric data type, it is boolean and character. Okay. So boolean is nothing but it is a true or false value. Either you can have true or either you can have false. Yes, and when it comes to character is actually enclosed in single quotes, and only one value you can give. It can be a special character or it can be a number, it can be like an alphabet, it can be anything. You can give something like B, you can give one, you can also give something like star, but you can't give something like B1. No, it's not possible. Okay, because if it is a character, you'll be able to store only one character, only one the so called only one digit means it's not number, only one thing you'll be able to store. You can't store something like this. You can't store something like, and you can't give it in single quotes and all. Okay. So I mean, we only will be able to store only a single character. It can be a number or it can be a special character, anything. Okay, but it must be enclosed inside a single quote. That is the key difference. And when it comes to the non-primitive data types, you are having different categories and variations like string, array, and etc. String means it is a sequence of characters that is enclosed in a double quotes. For example, this is a string. I'll write my name. So this is a string. This is a sequence of characters that is enclosed in a double quote. And array means it is nothing but it is a linear data structure where elements of uh, the same data type will be stored. If I'm going to define an integer array, then my array will be having elements of integer type. 6 4 3, I mean, array, that is array. Okay, we'll discuss more about all these things. So this is the basic overview of what and all the data types which we have in Java. And I said, right, for storing a normal integer itself, we'll be having four different variations. Why is that? Is only because of the memory restrictions. Okay, for example, according to the data types, we are having how much memory size it will consume, and the range of numbers which can be stored. All these four things, it is going to help you in storing the integer values. But if, I mean, like, if it is if you're giving byte a is equal to, it is a, okay, byte a is equal to 5, then it will consume only 8 bits. And I hope you people are clear with this bits and bytes concept, right? um 1 byte is equal to 8 bits. Yes. So only 8 number of bits is allocated for storing this a value. Whereas you can also give something like this. You can also store the same 5 value as int a is equal to 5. This is also is correct. But here, if you are using the int data type, actually how much memory space is allocated for your variable? 32 bits are allocated. 32 bits are allocated. So that's why what they have given is, if you want to store by 5, which is quite a lesser value, you can go with byte because it will consume less memory. Okay, for memory optimizations only, they have given this four variations. So if it is byte, it consumes 8 bits. Okay, and you can store the numbers ranging from -128 to 127. And if you want to like use short, if you want to store any numbers in this range, you can go with short. And it is actually it is going to utilize only 16 bits. If it is int, it is 32 bits. If it is long, then it is 64 bits. Float and double, I said, like for float it is 7 digits precision. After decimal point, you can store 7 digits. If you're giving the eighth digit, it will be rounded off and only 7 digits will be stored after the decimal point. If it is double, the precision will be until 15 digits. And your float will be consuming 32 bits, and your double will be consuming 64 bits. And if it is a character, I have said only you will be able to have only a single character which is enclosed inside a single quote, and 16 bits are allocated. If it is a boolean value, it will be either true or false, and you only one bit is allocated for this. Okay, so yes, so this is all about data types which we have in Java. Next thing is variables. Don't worry, we'll discuss it tomorrow because I don't want to take the session until the last minute. Okay, so yes, this is all about the thing. If you people have any doubts, I think Hari's doubt of what is the difference between float and double might have been resolved. If you people have any doubts, you can let me know in the chat. Huh. Good, you people are helping each other. Good. Yes. Good. Good coordination among you. So guys, this is all about today's lecture. So I just want to know whether everything which we have discussed, of course it is basics only, but I think I have taken the class in such a way that it is not very boring to you. It might have felt boring in some parts, like but I hope so. And I think you have understood everything whatever we have discussed until now. And from tomorrow, everything will be mostly will be delving into the coding stuff. So I need you people to work with me parallelly. Okay, so either you must have any IDEs like Eclipse or IntelliJ or VS Code, or you can also go with online compiler. So we are having the last 2 minutes. So I just want to know uh, from your end, you can give me the feedbacks. If it is negative also, that's not an issue. Like whether you need any enhancements from my side so that I'll improve myself for the future sessions. And I want you people to give me the feedback. And just if you are having any doubts, you can post in the chat, or if you want anything to be conveyed, you can use the chat. Yes. Okay, thank you guys. Others, like, have you people understood everything? And don't worry, I'll try to make the session like engaging and interactive as much as possible. And from tomorrow, like people who don't know the binary representation of numbers, you just go through that, and people who know already, you can just revisit and come, so that when dealing with the bitwise and the shift operators, it will be very helpful for us. And everything was understood and clear. Okay, guys. So if nothing is there to discuss, we'll wrap up this session of today. And yes, tomorrow we'll start the coding part. And tomorrow, if time permits, I'll also be introducing you a very good DSA algorithm, which will help you a lot. Okay. Yes. So if nothing is there, we'll wrap up the call. Thanking everyone for patiently attending my session, and you people were very engaging. You asked many doubts and all, and you have also helped your peers. So thank you all. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye, guys. Please share my LinkedIn.